welcome to FoQus with Deb Pearce. I'm your host, and this is going to be another great show. Today we're going to talk about adventure. For all of you adventure nuts out there, this is the show for you. We're going to sit down with Kristen Morley. She's a track cyclist, and she also works for the City of Toronto, creating diversity in sports and recreation. Right now, though, I want to sit down with Shawn and David from OutSport Toronto to talk about being out and being sporty here in Toronto. We're going to talk about sport and adventure because we know how those gays, we like to get outdoors, and I don't just mean the parks at night. So we're standing here with Shawn and David from OutSport Toronto, and let's talk about how this all got started, this great organization.
Sure. What happened is about a year and a half ago, Deb, a bunch of sports clubs and organizations in the city got together and decided that it was important to have an overall organization to help facilitate a few things. And out of that came a mission statement for OutSport Toronto, which is to serve and support LGBT sporting organizations in the Greater Toronto Area through general promotion of sport within the broader LGBT community, through providing opportunities for those sports organizations to network and liaise, for providing opportunities for learning and mentoring between those organizations, and finally for effective advocacy with third-party stakeholders.
What's your role with OutSport
My
Toronto?
role is chair of the organization, so in a funny way I'm kind of like, I guess, the guy for LGBT sport in Toronto.
David, what is your role with OutSport Toronto?
Basically my role is to work in the marketing and communications aspect, so making sure that all the different organizations are kept in contact, they're aware of what's going on, and also developing that whole relationship with the community at large, be it LGBT people themselves or even just the outlying organizations like work groups or even different levels of government.
And so why do you think it's so important for the queer community to have very specific an organization wrangling organizations? Why do you see that as being important?
I think there's a few things that make that important. One is that an awful lot of our member organizations feel somewhat isolated. One of the things that a number of our organizations want, believe it or not, is to try and get into a number of the women's organizations because, unfortunately, a lot of our men's and women's organizations don't like to talk.
Right.
And
oh my
yet
God, just like the bar community. I'm just saying.
Exactly. But there's opportunities for some great cross-pollination. I think that we provide that opportunity to connect. Plus, people coming into the city don't necessarily know what we have to offer. And unfortunately, there was a bit of a void there where now they can go someplace to OutSport Toronto and say, okay, well, what are the list of things that I can get involved in? What can I do? Is there something that appeals to my sport?
There's a lot of pressure within sport for people to come, like professionally, for people not to come out. I mean, I speak from knowing the story about Mark Tewksbury, knowing, of course, it was really difficult for them. So it comes to the part of the show where I'd like you to out a professional athlete for me. No, don't. I'm just kidding. Don't out a, no, don't. Who else is involved with OutSport Toronto?
Breathless Synchro, Crag Climbers, my organization, Central Canada Gay Rodeo Association, Toronto Gay Football League. You're going to have to help me out on some of these. Downtown Swim Club.
Righteously Outrageous Twirling Corp.
Nice! Yes. They're always in the parade.
Triggerfish Water Polo. We've got Out and Out, which covers a broad range of different sports, from kayaking to hiking to a number of the adventure sort of stuff as well.
That's great.
Rainbow Reef Rangers for scuba.
Downtown Soccer, Downtown Swim League.
So a pretty good broad range of organizations. We're still courting some other ones that haven't come on board yet, but we've had some good conversations with those, and so hopefully they'll see some value in becoming part of OutSport Toronto and connecting with their broader LGBT sporting community.
Well, thanks, Shawn and David. Now, people that you've piqued their interests, how do they reach you?
They can find out more about us at outsporttoronto.org. That's our website, and they can also email info@outsporttoronto.org.
Excellent. Great game. Good game.
Thanks.
Good game. Good game. You know what I used to do when I was playing sports? I'd be like, do the whole line thing where you do the hands afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
People say good game, and I'm like, I'm gay. I'm gay.